Alright, so it's getting to be the middle of September, and as you can see, I'm out on the farm pond today. The water level is quite low. Unfortunately, it's not quite as low as I thought it was going to be. I thought this whole area was going to be dry at this point, and there was going to be no water, but over in this little corner. But I'll make do with it anyway. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be making a natural blind out of willows, grass, and some cotton string that I have. In the past, during dry summers like the one we've had this year, this whole area was completely dry, no water in it. And a bunch of grasses, smart weeds and things like that would grow up, set seed, and then in the fall, when the rains start again, this would re-flood and the ducks would pile into here to eat all the fresh food that was in here. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to be quite as great as I thought it was going to be this year. We do have some greens growing along the edge of the pond here, as you can see, which will draw in a little bit more ducks than in the past couple years. The past couple years have had really wet summers, so the water level stayed up and the aquatic plants never ended up growing in here. So the last 2 years, there haven't been a ton of ducks in this pond. We would always get a couple dozen or two, depending on the time of year, that I would come out and jump shoot, but I'm really hoping that this year I'm able to actually hunt it out of a blind with decoys. We still have the rest of this month for this to dry up a little bit, so long as the rains stay away. So there's still a chance that we'll end up getting some more duck feed in here. But the plan for today is I'm going to be building that duck blind, as I said. In the past, I built it on the other side. There's a willow that rooted itself from one of the legs of it from the past. But the problem with having it on that side is that the sun rises from the east, which is behind me over here. And by the time it comes over the tree line, it's really hard to see what's going on around you. So I'm going to be putting it on the east side of the pond this year in this grassy area so that I have the cover of the willows and the other trees behind me. And when the sun comes up, it won't be blinding me when I'm duck hunting later in the mornings. So my first goal here is to cut down all this grass. I'm going to save it because I'm going to be using that to cover up the blind. And then I have to go back across the pond and harvest some of the willows that are growing over there because I don't want to take away my backdrop on this side. So let's get started. Got my hedge trimmers. So let's start cutting back a lot of this grass. Alright, so there we go. Got this area cleared out. I'm gonna have the blind pretty much right here, about right in the middle of the pond, half of it on one side, half on the other. I still have to make a path going to the woods that way so we can enter from the back. Don't actually have to cross the pond to get here. But gonna get out my saws, get across the pond, and I'm gonna cut some willows to build the blind frame over here. The last time I made this, it was pretty short both in height and in width. So we had the duck down, my dad and I, to stay hidden from the ducks. It worked, but we still had to do that. And then it wasn't wide enough for both us and Jasmine to be here. So I want to make it a bit wider so she can also sit right beside us and not have to sit under the blind in front of the both of us, not being able to see what's actually going on. It's about 6 inches deep of mud, but then it's hard mud underneath, so I can just walk right across the pond. But as you can tell, there's maybe only an inch or two of water on this whole entire thing. And the deeper parts are all the little turtle trails that have dug through the mud through here. And actually, when I first came out here, there were a whole bunch of turtles running from the shore and burying themselves in the mud. So, all right, so I'm gonna need 5 total stems. At least 2 of them, I'm gonna need to have a Y in it, like this guy right here, so I can put the cross beam across into it. They'll be even better if I can get all 4 of the legs to have that Y as well, so I can intertwine them to kind of like lock them together a little bit better. Seeing a couple, I don't want them to be super thick because I simply don't want to take the time to cut down huge pieces. This is probably like the maximum size I want to go with, but let's get the cutting, get all the pieces cut, get the limbs chopped off, and we'll bring them across, start setting them up. All right, first piece here. Definitely should have brought my loppers for these smaller ends. So, gonna need 3 more of these with the Y at the top. Then I'll need the cross beam. So I think I can probably get one more out of this piece that I took down. There's a couple Ys in it that would definitely work, but let's get them. Boot got stuck. And yeah, I know it's just like cotton yarn, but this is what I used last time. It lasted the whole season, so. And this stuff's actually stronger than the stuff I used before. It can always be touched up after the season, so I'm not concerned about it. I'll leave a bunch of extra on it, so if it does happen to break, I can quickly just tie it back together while I'm out here. Yeah, this is why I left the extra yarn for this. There we go. Way more sturdy now. As you can see, plenty of room to get up, shoot birds that are on the water. For me anyway. You're shorter. Yeah, if you're shorter, you can figure it out. Enough room for 2 people here in Jasmine, which is perfect, and that's all we need. So I'm gonna get a cross beam to go across the middle front here. Then I'm gonna go get a bunch of sticks and reeds to layer it up in front, and then I'm going to take all that grass that I cut and layer that on top of that to cover the whole thing. So it turns out I do need one more branch. All right, this is it. It's getting there. Need some more grass over the top of it though. Make it so that you can't see through. And I want more grass on the support poles on the end as well. All right, the blind is done, at least for now. We'll have to touch it up every time we come out here, but that's easy enough, just to get some nice fresh greens on top of there and to fill in the gaps when the leaves wither away. But here's a tour of it. We got both support ends over here. This one's closed off. This side has an exit for Jasmine to go in and out, to go and fetch birds that land out on this side of the pond. And we also have the exit to go onto this side of the pond right here, going around the support beams. One problem I see is there's a bunch of clumps of grass in here that stand like a foot higher than the ground beneath them. But we'll just have to position the seats around them or just end up digging them up at some point. Bring a shovel out here and just root them up and get them out of here. But it looks pretty good. As I said, I could use a few touch-ups to fill in the gaps, but I don't think those little gaps will matter. In fact, it'll probably help us see what's going on out in front of us a little bit. But let's get a front view. Jasmine, what do you think? Huh? What do you think? And this is what it looks like from the front. Pretty much can't even tell that it's there with the grass around it. You can kind of just see the corner of it right here, and that's pretty much it. All right, and this is what it looks like. Gonna have to break some of these dead tops here, but pretty good. Able to get up, get some shots. Problem is, my dad comes out here with me. He's shorter than me, so it might be a little more difficult for him to get up and shoot low to the ground, but we'll work on it. I can spread the legs out to lower it a bit if I have to, just as is with it all standing up here, so that shouldn't be much of an issue. But overall, I'm happy with it. It's nice and sturdy. Should last a good long while, or hopefully at least the whole season this year. But that's to be determined. But the duck season's only about a month away. I am not sure if I'm going to be using this within the first few weeks of the season. In fact, I have no idea when during the season I'm going to be using it, because if the rains don't end up coming, I won't be hunting this spot because there will be no water out here for the ducks to land in. So I'm going to pray for rain, but I'm going to pray for rain starting in October. Not yet, because I want this water level to drop a little bit more and for more of these plants to end up growing up and give the ducks a little bit more food out here. But with that, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed and want to see more duck hunting videos this season, hopefully in this blind, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.